Your brain has already had over 6,000 thoughts today. And most of them were the same thoughts you had yesterday. That's not a guess. That's what scientists found when they studied how the human mind actually works. And here's what really got me. A huge chunk of those repeated thoughts are negative, worrying, replaying, regretting, going in circles. Sound familiar? Here's what nobody tells you. Overthinking isn't a personality flaw. It's not something wrong with you. It's not because you're weak or broken or dramatic. But if you don't understand why it happens, you will never, ever stop it. Most people try to just think less. They tell themselves, stop worrying. And what happens? They worry more. Sound familiar? That's because you've been given the wrong solution to the wrong problem. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what's happening inside your brain when you overthink, why your brain does it on purpose, and most importantly, the specific steps that actually stop it. And I'm going to show you one technique, backed by neuroscience, that takes less than 2 minutes. Most people have never heard of it, so stay with me, because this might be the most useful thing you watch this week. Let's start simple. What even is overthinking? It's not just thinking a lot. Smart people think a lot. That's fine. Overthinking is when your brain gets stuck, like a car wheel spinning in mud. Lots of energy, zero movement. You replay a conversation from 3 days ago. You imagine every bad thing that could go wrong tomorrow. You think about what you should have said. You think about what people might be thinking about you. And none of it helps. None of it solves anything. But you can't stop. Here's a real example. Imagine you sent a text to a friend and they didn't reply for a few hours. An overthinking brain goes, are they mad at me? Did I say something wrong? Maybe they hate me now. Should I send another message? No, that looks desperate. But what if they're upset? Meanwhile, your friend just forgot to charge their phone. That gap between what's real and what your brain invents, that's where overthinking lives. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. And this part is going to change how you see yourself. Your brain overthinks because it's trying to protect you. Thousands of years ago, humans lived in a world full of real danger. Lions, rival tribes, poisonous plants. Your brain had one job: keep you alive. So it learned to scan for threats constantly, all day, every day. The brain that worried more survived more. Fast forward to today. The lions are gone, but your brain, it's still running the same old software. Still scanning, still searching for danger. Except now, the danger is an unanswered email, a weird look from your boss, a comment someone left on social media. Your brain treats these things like they're life or death, because to the ancient part of your brain, social rejection, failure, embarrassment, those were life or death once. Being kicked out of your tribe meant dying alone in the wild. So when you overthink, your brain isn't being irrational. It's being overprotective, like a bodyguard who won't let you leave the house because it might rain. It means well, but it's way too extra. And here's the problem. This protective mode also blocks you from thinking clearly. When your brain is in threat scanning mode, the part that solves problems, the rational, logical part, basically goes offline. So the more you overthink, the worse your thinking gets. You spin and get nowhere. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because if overthinking is a built-in brain function, can you actually stop it? Yes and no. You can't turn off the part of your brain that scans for danger. That's like trying to stop your heart from beating. But you can learn to redirect it, to interrupt the loop, to basically tell your brain, hey, we're safe. Stand down. And there are specific, proven ways to do that. Let me show you. Before we fix it, you need to know which type of overthinking you do, because they need slightly different solutions. Type 1. Ruminating. This is when you replay the past. Something embarrassing happened, a mistake you made, a fight you had, and your brain keeps rewinding it over and over. It feels like you're processing it, but you're not. You're just replaying it. There's a difference. Type 2. Worrying. This is future-focused. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if something goes wrong? Your brain is running disaster movies about things that haven't happened yet, and probably won't. Type 3. Analysis paralysis. This is when you have a decision to make, big or small, and you research it to death. You make pros and cons lists, you ask everyone for their opinion, and somehow the more information you get, the more confused you feel. Sound like you? Good, because now you know what you're dealing with. All right, let's get practical. Here are the 4 things that actually work. Fix 1. Name it to tame it. This sounds too simple, but it works, and brain scans prove it. When you notice yourself spiraling, just say it out loud or in your head. I'm ruminating right now. Or, this is anxiety talking. Or, I'm catastrophizing. The moment you name what your brain is doing, the emotional intensity drops. You go from inside the thought to observing the thought. And that tiny shift gives you back control. Your brain can't panic and observe itself panicking at the same time. Try it. Fix 2. The 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. This is the 2-minute method I mentioned earlier. When your thoughts start spiraling, do this. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. This forces your brain out of the imaginary future or the painful past and back into right now, into the present. And your brain can only fully focus on one time period at once. The spiral lives in your imagination. Grounding brings you back to reality. Fix 3. Give your worry a time slot. This one sounds weird, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of trying to stop worrying, which doesn't work, you schedule it. Pick a 15-minute window each day, maybe 5 p.m., and tell yourself, I'm not going to deal with that worry right now. I'll think about it at 5. When the worried thought pops up, and it will, just say, not now, 5 p.m. What happens? Most of the time, by 5 p.m., it doesn't feel urgent anymore. Your brain wasn't actually solving anything, it was just spinning. This trains your brain to stop treating every passing thought like an emergency. Fix 4. Action beats thinking every time. Here's a truth that overthinkers hate hearing. Most overthinking is just delayed action hiding behind the mask of being careful. You don't need more information. You need to make the decision and move. Not the perfect decision, just a decision. Because a good decision made now beats the perfect decision made never. Action creates clarity. Thinking alone never does. Okay, I want to give you the one thing I really need you to take away from this video. Overthinking is not a thinking problem. It's a trust problem. At the deepest level, overthinking happens because you don't fully trust yourself. You don't trust that you can handle things if they go wrong. So your brain tries to pre-solve every possible bad outcome before it happens. Think about that. If you knew, truly knew that no matter what happened, you'd figure it out, you'd be okay, would you still need to replay that conversation 47 times? No, you wouldn't. Every time you take an action, even a small one, and you survive it, even if it was imperfect, you build a little more trust in yourself. Every time you sit with a hard feeling and don't run from it, you build more trust. Every time you make a call instead of spending another 2 hours researching, you build more trust. Overthinking shrinks when self-trust grows. So the real fix isn't a technique, it's a practice. The practice of proving to yourself over and over that you are capable of handling life. Not perfectly, but well enough. And that is always enough. Write that down if you need to. Seriously. If this video hit home for you, if you saw yourself in even one of those examples today, do me a small favor. Drop the word calm in the comments, not just because it helps the channel, though it does, but because it's actually a small act of self-trust. You watched, you engaged, you took a step. That matters. And if you know someone who overthinks everything, a friend, a sibling, someone who's always stuck in their head, share this with them. You might genuinely help them today. Hit that like button if you want more videos like this. And subscribe if you haven't already, because next week, we're going into something most people never talk about. We're going to talk about why some people seem completely unbothered by life, while others spiral at the smallest thing. Is it genetics? Childhood? Habits? The answer is going to surprise you. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. However, sometimes it takes overthinking to spot liars. So if you want to know if someone's secretly manipulating you, watch this video. I will see you there.